Welcome back this week. I'm Renzo Rossato. This is episode 4 of season 4.
And I'm Gaston Rossato, guys, and today we're looking at the coveted 1989 Porsche 930. That's the 911 Turbo, for those of you that don't know the internal code. Why is this the ultimate collector car in the G-body 911s? We've seen a few already. We're trying to cover the whole 911 spectrum. I'm happy to have this one here today.
Hit subscribe for us as we're trying to reach that 10,000 subscriber mark. We appreciate the support so far. As always, let's get this thing on the road.
Now I gotta say, if there's a Porsche I'm gonna buy for myself, for my personal collection, it's gotta be, for me, the 930. I love the G-body cars, the turbo car, and especially the 89 car, which we're gonna talk about in a little bit.
So the car started production in 1975, continued on to 1989. From 75 to 77, the 930 came with a 3.0 flat 6. In 78, they introduced the 3.3 liter flat 6, and that continued on until 89. So the first year, the first, I guess, round of the 3 liters, there was only about 2,800 produced. Now, from 78 to 89, there's a total of about 18,000, almost 19,000 cars produced.
And I think that's what makes the Porsche so desirable and collectible, because there's so many different, obviously, generations, but variations within those generations, right? You know, the T's, the E's, the turbos, the non-turbos, the RS Americas, the speedsters. I mean, there's so many variations within the same 911. It can get very confusing. Up, you know, you kind of feel it after that 4,000 RPM. The car's a little, you know, quote unquote dead below that. And here's the best part. We're doing highway, we're doing 70 miles an hour. Boom, fifth gear. That's a big deal for the 930, guys.
And one thing I always liked is the sound of this door.
Refrigerator.
It's awesome.
That's German engineering at its finest.
It is. It's great.
I always love, yeah, that's a good point that you bring out. You know, closing a door on a car and the way it closes, I don't know.
It's just something about it.
There's something about it. It needs to close right. When it doesn't, it's like it doesn't convince you much.
Yeah. Second gear, 30 miles an hour, 3,000 RPM.
Yeah.
I noticed this car has a sunroof. Is that something that was optional?
We're going to verify that because we have a certificate of authenticity for this car, and all the options are spelled out there. And this one does have really good options. Besides being an 89, which is a very special car, very special year for the 930, it also has some very desirable options. Let's take a walk around. Let's talk a little bit more about this car, some of the features, distinctive things that you'll find on a 930. You know, obviously the car is red, known as Guards Red for the Porsche world.
And matching with a beautiful tan interior, which goes perfect. So this has to be one of the most beautiful views of the 930, where you really get to appreciate the wide body, the whale tail, and the Fuchs wheels that are painted black to go contrast with the red. It's just nothing like it, honestly.
Let's talk about this particular car. This is a 51,000 mile example, all original. In fact, we have the certificate of authenticity from Porsche, where it shows us the engine number We have confirmed that this is in fact a matching numbers car, meaning this is the actual engine that came from the factory. There's a lot of value there and it's important. It doesn't kill a deal, but it does reflect on the price. Okay, so let's take a look. Tip when you're opening up the back hatch, you want to lift the wiper blade because you don't want to yank it off when you raise here. Right below this fan housing, and we're going to include the photo, there's a vertical bar, and that does include the engine number. Again, we compare that to what Porsche provide on the certificate of authenticity. They match correctly. We also look at all the decals here in the engine bay. These are factory decals. They're in great shape. They're all in place. You look at the gutters, you look at the drain holes, you look at a lot of different items that show no evidence of prior repair or current rust.
And that's important for somebody who's looking to purchase a car to understand that this is something that has not been maybe played around with, you know, changed the engine because they blew out the original. So you know the car has been taken care of, and it looks like a car has been taken care of. It looks like a car that spent its life in a garage, really.
Listen, if you showed me this car and covered the odometer, I would have never guessed 51,000 miles, which is low. Yes, it is low miles, especially for a Porsche, but it's not a 10,000 mile car. What makes it highly desirable in the 930 world, the 1989 came equipped with the G50 transmission, aka 5-speed. All other cars prior to that were a 4-speed transmission. Which, you know, this car really needs it when you're on that highway. So this car is equipped with the sport seats and LSD, limited slip differential, which is also a huge plus. So now we're talking about an 89, boom, automatically, you know, it's 5-speed. You're talking about turbo, you're talking about limited slip, you're talking about sport seats. It's just a gorgeous example. Everywhere you look at, one thing that surprised me the most when I sit down in the car for the first time and just looked at the dash that I love so much in these cars was the instrument dials are in such great condition, and they have those orange needles that typically fade away. They look brand new. Yeah,
cool detail before we close it up here. You notice a crest engraved into the whale tail, as well as in the back here is imprinted onto the car's Porsche, which is a cool detail. Most people probably won't notice that as they won't really get under that wing. Man, what a drive.
Truly, what a blast.
It's a blast. And I can't get over that noise of that door slamming shut. Car is just a ton of fun. The turbo lag is something you really enjoy. You don't get that in today's
Well, you gotta get used
turbos.
to it. You gotta get used to it.
So, I mean, the car all around, I think it's a car that every collector should have in his garage, especially the 89.
I think it's worth it. And, you know, I wanna bring this up, the certificate of authenticity. We talked about it already a few times throughout this video. And inside, while we were driving it, we did question the sunroof. And it is in fact an option, along with another dozen of these options, which I'm gonna list down below in the description. So if you wanna know exactly what they are, we're gonna list it out one by one for you. It even tells you the manufacturing date. This car was completed on November 29th of 1988. So if you were born on that day and you're in the market for a 930, this is probably the car for you. Guys, we want to thank you for joining us this week, but before we let you go, we can't emphasize enough to please hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world to us. Thank you so much. I'm Gaston Rossato.
And I'm Renzo Rossato. We'll see you here next week. Peace out.